Hi.
Hi. Okay. Up to you, Gimel. Or we did your Gimel up to you, Tyler.
Yud Gimel.
You. Okay. Our turn clearly. Our general will. So Ruchnius Klolis Bauma, the general um spirituality in the nation. Yeshua also has its measure. The Malami man, I guess it has its specific place in the configuration of things. Because besides that, above it, Lamali man Ratzon Shalatochen Eloki is the an interesting dichotomy here. Above the Ratzon of Ruchnius is Ratzon Eloki. So Ratzon for Ruchnius, for spirituality, I guess can consist of a desire to sit around a campfire and sing songs. Whereas the above that is the Ratzon. Let's see, you enjoy that one. Is Ratzon Shalatochen Eloki is the desire, the will of the having a divine content. Okay, independent of spirituality, which I think is very, fits in very well with our what we how we critique New Age spirituality, which is the quest for spirituality independent of Tochen Eloki. So Tochen Eloki would be something which you would look for above and beyond the quest for spirituality. Okay, so Madam based on your perception of and its internal and external life. As long as the token ruchani of the nation is large and is full and large, so it automatically increases. But large, it's on the higher level. Or it's an interesting theory. I would not necessarily have thought of this, but he says that the Ratzon Ruchnius serves if it's large enough to enhance also the Ratzon Eloki. In other words, to continue my metaphor further, if Chiloni Israelis sit around the campfire and sing about Yerushalayim Shel Zahav, so then eventually they're going to also have a greater desire for Tochen Eloki as well, to sing Leiv Tar Broli Elokim. So um, the again, the light of the divine content. And the quest of its existence will be colored into it, and with clear hues, Hues. So the umalamizeh. So then above that, we're going to have even above the token Eloki. There's going to be even brighter colors, brighter hues. The quest of the entirety of creation, which is Raz Das Elyon, which is not just divinity, but to know the inner secrets of the connection of a connection to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Okay, so we have Ratzon Klali Shruchnius, and above that we have Tochen Eloki, and above even that we have Raz Das Elyon. So far, so good.
Yes, sir.
Shiardam Mambi Galus Amara. When the nation went down into its bitter Galus. The next Shamish Masa, the Sham was darkened. And the quest to for its inner its quest for its the inner I'm not sure how to translate vukasha. The perception of its inner desire, shemitzyusa, of its existence, ma'avayei chaya, and the desires of its life, niskat na, ad she'eino motza klaus nisibosea, and to the point that it can't find its pathways anymore. It has nevertheless some sort of weak perception. Shoshimas ora, so of the leftover the erosion, the impression of its life. Shemezrach orkehe, from which there radiates a dark light, via erech, relatively relative to recipients. The tzaddikim and chachamim to the tzaddikim and chachamim darshi Hashem, request Hashem b'chol babam with all their hearts, gama machshachim, even in darkness. Hashem orli, even if it's in darkness, Hashem is my light. So even in Galus, where there is bitterness and distraction and punishment, whatever there is, and the light is very low. And I'm assuming, but he doesn't really clarify this. He says that I think it's about the Ratzon Kloli, until you have some wave of a sense of national destiny, the crushing burden of the Galus is going to diminish the whole quest, the inner quest of the collective Jewish soul. There's still some weak perspective, weak perception of the light, which is vestigial light, which remains from the greater times. And this will shine, relatively speaking, to different tzaddikim and chachamim, based on their pursuit of it, even in the darkness. And we should add, of course, that Gemara, which I'm sure he's alluding to here, in Sanhedrin says, in darkness, he put me to sit like the dead of the world. Zet Hamuda Bavli, right? So Talmud Bavli is machshachim, is in darkness. So even in darkness, there is this the Rishimas Ora, right? Hashem Orli. Now the Reb Tzadok says, not like Rav Kook, he says that this light is more, sometimes we can understand, is, so to speak, more precious than the light which comes easily, right? Because light which comes out of darkness is a much more profound and sweet light than the light which comes out of light. And he likes quoting that the Medrash in Shir Shirim, I think it is, maybe it's Eicha, that Yosef Tzadikim Hamili B'Chorbana Yosef Mibinyana. More tzaddikim have come out of destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, and out of the Beis Hamikdash in its destroyed state, the Beis Hamikdash in its built-up state. And I'm not sure if Kook would disagree, but his emphasis is that, okay, but that's still Galus. In other words, there's still darkness, and we could accomplish much more elsewhere if we could get to that elsewhere situation. The divine matter and the goal of the world, or the universal goal. If it was stood in its place and in its level as it was initially, it would not be able to connect itself at all with its independent purpose, which I'm not sure what he means by that. In other words, I think not independent. No, not Atzmais. I'm sorry. With its essential purpose. So I'm not sure. Let's go over this again line. לא יוכלו להתחבר אז כלל עם הגמתו העצמית, ואז יהיו חיה בגלוס נטולים, נותנים להם דרך חול. Evidently, we said before at the beginning of the piece, there's got to be, I forgot how I put it, but like everything has to be configured properly, right? So what's not clear, Bruchnius has to touch the token Eloki, which has to touch on top of it, it's the Raz Das Elyon. So if the Inyan Eloki and Magam Alamis, which was kind of like that middle level, would remain in its place, so then we would never be able to get up to the goals, because there'd be this huge gap between our Ratzon and the Magam Alokis, because we're in Cheshkas HaGolos. So therefore, we'd be completely cut off from that, right? So the there'd be the life and goals would be completely mundane. There's no connection to the divine purpose. So if the creator of the world, who's righteous in all generations, even generation goes. What Hashem do? Just like the light became diminished in terms of its intrinsic content. Cain and Elokia Chlibo Love. The light of the light divinity went down in the world, so it could go down into the places where it now had to descend into deeper depths, and was no longer on the high level it was originally, because that would be tragic, because then there'd be no hooking tapping into the light at all. So therefore, Sigu Shenyelo Ki, the loftiness of this divine concept, Shu or Chai Olimim, which light of which gives life to the world. Einenu mafikim or kalush kazeh. It's not brilliant. It's only like this weak light. Which can connect with the light which is shining in the Shabbos. So even in their fallen state, which the great fall caused. You saw when the glory of Am Yisrael went down from heaven to earth. So since the Inyan Eloki is in general, the general Inyan Eloki is standing in this position, right? Which is a diminished position, but can reach down deeper into the darkness. So then, once we make that connection and maintain the connection, we can build on the connection. And the purpose of the spirit of the nation, it's a holiness, and the great general purpose of divinity, of Havaya, of existence totality. They can join together. That's why therefore they become connected intrinsically. Same befrat, and they become connected in the shamas of the Jews specifically. Shamas close which is interesting dichotomy again. Shamas of individuals, Jews, and the shamas of the soul in general. And now they're prepared to rise up to save the God and to save the nation and its God. Don't think it literally means and its God, but it's God which is in Galus. In other words, it's like the concept of Shechita begalusa. The Shechina's got to go down. The Shechina's got to go down. It's got to be raised up again, right? And as it says, Aniva ho shiana. I and Vaho, meaning referring to the Shekhinah, should be saved. So therefore, the idea of Nivaho Shiana is to tell us that the less than optimum state of affairs, which Galus represents, will be saved, will be redeemed when Am Yisrael gets back its going back to the beginning of the paragraph, it's Ratzon Klali, and it connects with a greater strength to the Tochna Ruchani, and then there's a greater connection and bond, which brings back much greater light from the Tochna Eloki down into this world. Okay, that's my interpretation of this. And again, if you want to take it with Rav Kook Lishita, so he's telling you that Jewish nationalism is a good thing because it affects the Ratzon HaKlali, which then in terms you have better better kumzitzis, and if you have better kumzitzis, then you have more of a connection to Tochen Eloki. The Tochen Eloki will be able to be revealed in a much greater extent, and there'll be a greater light as a result. So therefore, the quest for Ruchnis, and all kidding aside, there's this new phenomenon all kidding aside, but there's this new phenomenon in Israel now called the tzitzit below kippah.
Yeah, yeah.
So this
I've
idea, I
seen
think,
it.
yeah. So I think that this is a very, I think it's a positive development. It certainly is better than any other alternative, and I think that this is something which Rav Kook would relate to in this piece. In other words, this idea, yes, okay, there's a koach ruchani which is not yet perfected, and it's not Eloki yet, and but it is questing for the Eloki, and it's tapping into that Eloki, and the Eloki can be revealed much more because there is this ratzon klali for ruchnius in the nation. So I think that this phenomenon is addressed very much by this paragraph.
Yeah, very amorphous type ideas.
Yeah, but
He doesn't bring a lot of rayas to his ideas. He just kind of puts them out there. He doesn't like bring a pasuk, or not too. He brings a few psukim, but
So it's interesting because we're putting her emulating him in that respect.
oh,
We're
really?
putting her in Pagad Yitzchak, very, very, very few pieces of evidence. In the Mar Mekoimus, which I don't know if he himself wrote or somebody else wrote later on, which are at the back of the book, you'll find some additional sources.
Uh-huh.
But in the piece themselves, they are very much like Rav Kook, very poetic and very philosophical, with a minimum of a piece of evidence, not like you would find in Reb Tzadok or even in Rav Dessler, where you would find lots
Right,
of proofs, right? So
right.
that's a style. This is a prose style, which is much more for the inspiration than for the actual, foundation and basis.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay, I like it. It was a nice piece.
All right.
Okay, next week, I'm probably not going to be able to learn because I'm going to be in LA and only coming back Tuesday. But if I'm back on time, we'll scholar
Okay.
residence. If I'm back on
Just
time, we'll be in
just
touch.
text me if whatever you
Yeah.
want to do. My time is pretty free.
Okay, fine. Okay, have a good night.
Yes, you too.